Howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 347. Who let the dogs out? This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am your dashing host, Chris, and with me is my good host, my good friend and co-host, working the pound, Jeff the Riz Risden. Jeff, what the hell's going on, man? It was so nice there just a minute ago.
There's apparently a dogfight going on somewhere in my near vicinity here. So let me lay out my logistics for you. I am in the business center of the Candlewood Suites in Augusta, Georgia. I am here with my son. My son is up in the hotel room. I gave him the choice of being up there or coming down here. So he's staying in the room watching the basketball game tonight. I'm here in the business center hanging out with y'all. And apparently there's a dogfight going on in the hallway behind me. So it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't chaos here.
That's right. That's right.
Always. I apparently did let the dogs out.
Doing the dog's business right there. All right. See what you can do about maybe just muting in between as we get this rolling, but I think you're good. All right, got a lot going on today's show. First off, most importantly, coming up shortly in the show, we will be joined by Detroit Lions undrafted free agent cornerback Jerry Jacobs from Arkansas. We've got a lot of questions. He's got a heck of a story. This guy, if you're going to root for anybody in camp, by the time we're done with this show, you are going to be rooting for Jerry. He's got a heck of a story. He's a heck of a guy. Can't wait to get him on and talk about his career, what's got him here, and what's going on over in Lions Land. We're also got some data points on Jared Goff. We're going to talk about that. They may surprise you. Training camp party, it's in full force. We'll talk about that. Get your tickets at DetroitLionsPodcast.com. It's party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Where else are you going to find them? Get in, come on out. July 31st, big time's fun. Michael Brockers, he's got some things about the Patricia area. We got a lot to talk about. Great show lined up. Riz, are you ready to go, my man?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
All right, let's get right into this. We got a good time going on. First off, I want to, normally we're a fun-loving show, have a lot of stuff, but we can be serious at the right time. We are. We're not just knuckleheads. We're mostly knuckleheads. But do want to give a shout-out. You guys may know him. He's on YouTube, a guy named Micro Mike. He's got some tough stuff going on in his life right now. I don't want to reveal what it is. I know he didn't reveal it on social media, so I don't want to be the one to break the news on him. But wish the very best to him and his family getting through it. And we're behind you if you need anything.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I know him from before he became Micro Mike. He lives right by me. We are gym friends. I know his wife well. My son is friends with his daughter. We're just, we're pulling for you, dude. I know you're going through a tough time. I do know what happened with him. It's unfortunate. It's nothing like horrible to him, personally, but it just sucks, man. And we're feeling for you. Prayers are up, and keep doing what you're doing because you do something that is unique for Lions coverage, and we have a great appreciation for that. We really do.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. There we go. All right. We will take a look at that. We'll see what we can do. Anything you need, Mike, we're there for you, brother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what we do. We try to be a lot of friends, a lot of stuff going on.
Got to take care of our podcast family.
Yeah.
The extended Lions podcast family. They're a lot of good people that do this.
Yeah.
And we nothing but love for them.
All right. Let's get in then now to Jared Goff. Some data points related to Jared. You've done some work on this, Riz. And
I did.
We need to talk about this and figure this out. When it comes to throwing beyond the sticks on third down, we've got Jared Goff in the air, beyond the sticks, 57.6% of the time. And a guy that you may know of as Matthew Stafford is at 53.3%. What in the world is going on? I thought he was going to be a terrible step downward in that. What's going on?
Oh, data and statistics can be manipulated in so many different ways. And this is one of those where you do have to know the context behind it. And I do not, the research was done by, let me look up his name because I want to give him credit because he's a really good Twitter follow. I just started following him recently, and he's a good dude. He's got some interesting data points. Where's it at? Brad Congelio, PhD. He's a data science sports industry guy. He uses various things to get what he's getting at. But he posted it as a graph. And Goff is middle of the pack, and Stafford is slightly lower in the middle of the pack. And it's just the data All it's saying is that when Jared Goff steps back to throw on third down, he's throwing past the yardage needed more frequently than Matthew Stafford is. Now, does that mean that he's a more aggressive quarterback? Maybe. My take on it, I'll give you my take on it. My take on it is that he is not as passive and not as timid as what he's made out to be by the Los Angeles media and by the national media that's watched him play. He is not as an aggressive quarterback as Matthew Stafford. Don't misconstrue the statistics there, because some of that is based on the style of offense. Darrell Bevell's offense, back when he was at Minnesota, Vikings fans used to complain about, God, it's 3rd and 8. Quit throwing 6-yard passes. So that's part of it. That's certainly part of it. The receivers that he had are part of it as well. He had receivers that got open better and weren't necessarily as good at yardage after the catch as a guy like Marvin Jones or Kenny Golladay,
right,
or DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield. So the Lions' ability to create after the catch also plays into that. So don't go making it into this giant molehill that Stafford didn't do it. What's up with that? Yeah. There's a lot of nuance going on with that statistic, but my takeaway from it is that I think the people that are like, and I'll raise my hand here a little bit because I'm not a Goff believer. I'm not, but the guy is not awful. Like he's made out to by some people that he's worse than Kellen Moore or Deshaun Kaiser or something like that. He's not. This can be an average quarterback. He can be on his best. He can be what Kirk Cousins is for Minnesota. He can be what trying to think of an average generic quarterback. Tyrod Taylor when he was in Buffalo fits that bill. The best case is that he's the Ryan Tannehill that was in Miami that moved to Tennessee. Tannehill was a guy that had some appreciable talent, but didn't work for him for whatever reason. And he got unleashed in Tennessee, and now would anybody call him a top 10 quarterback? Maybe.
That's kind of the thing where my head's at on this, right? You look at our offense, you look at our offensive coordinator, you look at our coach, you look at how we ran things. We never threw beyond the sticks on third down. We always threw and then tried to get the yak. It started way back before Lombardi even, right? I mean, Linehan was much better at running offense and getting those yards, but we always threw under the sticks and relied on the wide receivers to get there. Whereas Goff, and so we believe, knowing Matthew Stafford, we believe he could have done it, but the audience was set in a way that they didn't allow him or didn't set him up to do that. Whereas we have evidence that Jared Goff can do that, can deliver the ball beyond the third down with the right kind of offense. He can execute in a way that we weren't, even though we probably could have, that we weren't as a team previously. Am I kind of rounding this out the right way?
Yes, that's a very good summation of what I was trying to say quite clumsily. So thank you for that. Yeah, that's
this journalism. This journalism stuff isn't that hard, Jeff.
Can I tease an article that I got coming?
I'd love that. I love any kind of tease you got.
Yeah. So Dr. Congelio also posted this out. And dude, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize because we've never met in person. But it's well, let me pull it up here since it's in front of me.
Okay.
The
got him right in the article right now.
Red zone versus non-red zone accuracy.
Yep.
So this one, I'm looking at the very top, and in red zone accuracy, the number one quarterback, you'll read this on Lions Wire in the morning on Thursday or Wednesday. Yes, it's Tuesday, so it'll be Wednesday when you read this on Lions Wire. Number one quarterback in the league in red zone accuracy is none other than Mr. Jared Goff at between 82 and 84%. Now, that doesn't mean he's completing all those passes, but that means that the ball was placed, and this is based on Sports Information System. Our friend Bryce Rossler works there and is partly responsible for how that gets developed.
He's responsible for a lot of things.
Whether the pass is catchable or where it was delivered or where it needed to be or not. Goff got it there between 82 and 84% of the time. That's the number one in the league. I'm looking at it right now. Kyler Murray is second on this chart. And for those of you who are watching this live, you can go to my Twitter mentions and look up what he did. Or also his the @ for it is Brad Congelio, BradCongelio, and he's got several of them up there. And I'm going to be referencing him quite a bit. message with him, and he gave me permission to spread his stuff everywhere. And it's really good stuff. I enjoy it. I'll go down to where Matthew Stafford is. Stafford is at 66% right on the line. So you're looking at 16 to 17% less accurate within the red zone.
Whoa.
In fact, Stafford is who's below him. Tua is the dead last, and he's way the hell down there. He was at 58%, and he is far and away the bottom. Dak is next after that. Then you go up, you get Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Matthew Stafford. Fitzpatrick and Stafford are actually tied. That's the bottom 5-6 right there.
Now, okay, so I see people saying, oh, Goff's going to deliver balls on target in the red zone. Our wide receivers will drop them. That's in the chat right now. But hold on.
Yes, maybe.
Sure, it's possible. But we didn't have droppy receivers, and we were 16%, 17, 20% lower of a completion rate in the end zone with Stafford than we were. And that's with good wide receivers.
Yes. And that's with wide receivers who, like Kenny Golladay, if you get it near him, he had such a massive catch radius, both sideways and up.
And Hawkinson.
Hawkinson too.
So let's think about this, right? Because there's something else at play. There's obviously more than just the numbers at work here. Were the wide receivers in LA so significantly better than the Detroit Lions receivers that could account for that difference?
I like Cooper Kupp. He ain't there. Robert Woods and Marvin Jones for me would probably be a push. I think that's fair. I'll give a little bit to Marvin because I think he's got a little bit more juice off the line. But yeah, tight ends.
We win.
Hawks right there, man.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about this, right? I've talked about this for 5 years now, and you guys can love it or hate it, whatever. The way that Stafford threw the ball, I'm going to tell you, when you look at wide receivers when they retire and their hands and fingers, how often are they as absolutely destroyed, mangled, and just like they got ran over by a tractor like Calvin? Seriously. I'm a very honest question. I don't see that kind of damage to wide receivers' hands on the regs in the NFL. Calvin Johnson played his whole career with a guy that threw absolute bullets. Absolute bullets. And so while he could get the Stafford windows, get the ball there, the damage that you saw it do to players' fingers, and Tate talked about it too when he was still here.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I just wonder, there's something about delivering the ball, not only having it there, but how it arrives there, right? And again, I love Matthew Stafford as much as anyone else. I have to make a quick change here.
It's true.
Hold on. I love Matthew Stafford as much as anybody else, but there's something about the way he delivers the ball. I'm just telling you, there's something about that, and I think that there's something to be said for a ball that kind of lands in somebody's hands versus blasts into their hands. Is it going to be the difference? I don't know. But this is definitely way different than what it was with Matthew Stafford. This offense is going to be completely different. The way the quarterback works is going to be way different. The way the ball is delivered is going to be way different. Most Lions fans, because it's easy to stop being a Lions fan, I would say most Lions fans became fans in the Matthew Stafford era and are not going to be used to what they see from their quarterback on the field.
They don't remember Dante Culpepper. They don't remember Eric Kramer, Charlie Batch, Gary Danielson going back in the day. Yeah. Just to go back on the specific thing, Goff did not fare well in the non-red zone accuracy. Stafford was actually more accurate than Goff outside the red zone. He was at 78%, which is right at the league average. And Goff would be at about 77. He's right there with Lamar Jackson, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Alex Smith. Where Stafford is with actually he's on the exact same line as Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert too.
How do they compare on interceptions really quick?
Interceptions,
Yeah.
I don't know on that. Let me look that up real fast.
Okay, and while you do, I'm gonna hit Fisher House really quick because we've got something really sweet going on here, folks. Foundericious right now, he just hit us up in the super chat and he let us know he's guaranteeing a $50 donation to Fisher House. Everything beyond that, up to $150, he's gonna double. If you guys remember from the St. Jude telethon in November, a guy named Staff Taddy was his name. He got a Matthew Stafford tattoo if we raised a certain amount of money, and he wound up getting it. He's going to double everything that's donated up to $200 as well. So think of it this way. Everything that goes in from $50 up, or up to $150 is going to be quadrupled. Or no, tripled. Sorry, tripled, because I'm not good at math today. It's going to be tripled, right? Up to $200, up to $150, and then it's going to be doubled up to $200. Get in there. Help these vets out. This is for vets' families while they're getting stuff done at the VA at the Fisher House in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, so this is our Detroit area one. The money we're raising here is going to help them build a Fisher House in Detroit. Okay, they don't have one in Detroit, and this is the VA in Detroit, right down by everything in Detroit and everything you love. Let's help these vets. Let's help them out. Go to givebutter.com, givebutter.com/FHM/DLP. FHM is Fisher House, Michigan, DLP, Detroit Lions Podcast. Okay. givebutter.com/FHM/DLP. Help us. We're at $930 raised so far. I did a donation earlier that turned into, I got my company to double it, and then they had a corporate doubling. The money that we raised on Patreon in May, I gave all of it to Fisher House because that's what started this whole thing. It turned into $2,100. Right. So we're almost at $3,000 raised. Anything you guys can do here would be really, really appreciated. And I'll tell you just the history on this. I got a letter from a guy who was in Iraq in 2017, and he said that he had this show. He download a couple episodes at a time when he got access to Wi-Fi. He was in a pretty dark place. He had a really tough time while he was over there, and he said that we really helped him get through, and that kind of hit me in the feels. And I said, something. There's something that we need to do something for these folks and help them out and give back a little bit. So there it is. givebutter.com/FHM/DLP. Hook us up, folks. We love you. Thanks. All right. Let's do it. What do we got on these interceptions? Where are we at, my man?
So last year, Goff was at an interception rate of 2.4%. Stafford was at 1.9. For their careers, they're actually the exact same interception percentage at 2.3% of their passes get intercepted. Stafford is a more volume passer, although Goff did. I actually did not know this. Goff led the NFL in pass attempts in 2019 with 626. Stafford holds the NFL record with 727 back in 2012. He actually only threw the ball 528 times last year. Goff threw it 552, so comparable. Completion percentage, last year, Stafford was at 64.2. Goff was at 67. Now, again, Goff was dead last among all starters in yards per attempt and air yards per attempt. He was at the dead bottom at 6.8. Staff was a full yard higher at 7.9. So he is making higher degree of difficulty throws Stafford was, and his receivers also weren't getting as much separation. So factor that in for what you will. But I think we need to stop completely defecating on Jared Goff, and I'm guilty of this too, because I do not believe that he is the long-term answer, but I probably need to be a little bit more open-minded to the fact that he could be the solution, and also could be a fine bridge guy. Could be a guy that, we started for 2 years. They use a first-round pick next year on a guy, but Goff starts while they groom him, and Goff holds it together and does some good things, keeps the team at least competitive, and God forbid wins a few games.
I'm telling you, folks.
I can see that being realistic. Yes.
Okay. There we go.
What you said about Stafford and how the offense is going to change, I think that's something that until a lot of people see it, they're not really going to understand the breadth of just how drastic it's going to look different. in Detroit
and
without number 9 under center.
I'm going to tell you something. This is, players hang around with college people after school's over. I'm just going to say that, okay? I tweeted this, and I'm 100% sure of it. Matthew Stafford canceled Goff with Matt Ryan and 2 other folks, who I can't reveal. He canceled Goff with them and stated it was because of a lingering injury, okay? We just talked about this the week before. Again, I love Matthew Stafford. Okay, I love this guy, and I wish he was still on our team. Not that I don't like Jared Goff. The Sports Illustrated pictures that have popped around town, thanks to Jared being around, is great. But the reality is I'm not certain that Matthew Stafford is going to play 17 games a year. There's a real opportunity that Matthew Stafford helps us get a heck of a draft pick next year. Completely unexpected, but it's a real opportunity that's on the table. If he winds up hurt early, and I hope not, right? I don't hope any player gets hurt. I just straight out. But there's just on his history, hasn't played a full season since 2017. We know he's got a lingering injury right now. Won't play golf. Sounds like a back to me. Complete speculation. Speculation, right? But I know that information is real. I'm just telling you straight up.
You tell me that you can't golf, and the things that I would say, because I know this from being injured and beat up myself.
Yep.
I will golf through anything but wrist problems and back problems.
Yeah. Quick question from Don H. Any chance Anthony Lynn makes something more out of Goff than any of the pundits expect? He seemed to do a great job with Herbert. This is an interesting opportunity. I think, and look, I'm an optimist, Riz, and I know that you are absolutely always just so level-headed. But I think the upside with Jared Goff this year is really high. I believe his upside is high. The limiting factor for Jared Goff is going to be those receivers. And I don't think the way he throws the ball is going to lend itself to more interceptions because he throws a softer ball because it's not a slower ball. Like when I throw a ball, it doesn't move fast, but it hits your hands really, really hard. You know what I mean? I don't know the physics of it. I can't explain it, but you can hear it pop, right? Whereas like my wife and my son both, my father-in-law was a minor league pitcher for the Pirates. He had an arm, and it's in the family for sure. They have a natural throwing motion. That ball sails, but it's like bink, no big deal. Like there's nothing behind it, right? There's something about that, and there's a different way that ball flies. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I do like Anthony Lynn as an offensive coordinator. I liked him as a head coach. I thought that he got a raw deal because the special teams were always dreadful. And he had run his course too with the Chargers. It wasn't happening, so they moved on. Sort of like what happened with the Lions and Stafford. It was the same sort of situation with Los Angeles there. So
for real.
I'm not. I think that he will be able to get more out of Goff than what Sean McVay did, because Sean McVay, I think, didn't want to try with Jared Goff anymore and threw that away.
I agree with that 100%, Riz. 100%. All right. Really quick. Also on the Fisher House thing, for those, thank you, Justin. He just donated 150. Awesome. That's triple the money on that. That's great. I mean, 450 that fast. You guys are the best. Appreciate all your support for these guys. The vets need it. We need to do what we can to help them out. And Justin, thanks for being part of that. They do great work there. Also, if you want to get something out of it, you can go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com/store. We have a whole section of Detroit T-shirts, Detroit retro shirts, Bob Lowe Island, some pretty cool ones. I got a couple other. I didn't get to put them in over the weekend like I wanted to. I've been crazy busy, but I will get those in there. I originally said $2 a shirt. We'll go to Fisher House. I'm just going to double it out of my pocket. $4 a shirt of all the shirts, not even just the Detroit shirts, the whole deal. Any shirt you get, $4 will go to Fisher House for everything sold, and we're going to do a big check presentation to them during the training camp time. So thank you all for all that you're doing to make this happen. All right.
Good on you, Chris, man. That's cool. Now I'm singing the Bob Lowe Island theme song that I used to hear on the Toledo TV stations in my head when I was a kid. It's Bob Lowe Island.
Oh, that's great. Best way to donate.
I've never been there. I'm going to have to do that sometime.
Kevin, the best way to donate is givebutter.com/FHM/DLP. Fisher House, Michigan, Detroit Lions Podcast. Givebutter.com/FHM/DLP. All right, I want to talk about really quick the NFL preseason schedule, I got some awesome news in that 2 of the 3 preseason games are going to be live on the NFL Network. Detroit Lions fans nationwide, you are going to be able to see these Detroit Lions live in the preseason. How big
You don't have to use an illegal stream to do it. You don't have to tap on your neighbor's YouTube or whatever it is, whatever they got working on. You can watch it legally live on the NFL Network and also your Detroit Lions Network affiliates. For those of us who live on the west side of the state, they will be on Fox 17 in Grand Rapids.
That's so great, dude. That's awesome. Yeah. It's such a struggle. I remember.
Oh, it's a nightmare, man. Like I'm in Georgia right now. If I were here and the preseason game was going on, first off, I'd be going crazy. Secondly, I wouldn't be able to see it. That sucks. And as much as I do enjoy going out to sports bars and hanging out with people that I don't know, watching games and educating them on what's going on with Detroit and defending my fair team when they deserve defending, I like watching it from home, man. And not having to jump through hoops. You just flip on the NFL Network, which actually isn't available on my local cable provider. You can if you are a subscriber to their Game Pass, you can watch the preseason games for free on your app too.
Yep. So those are great. I remember not last season, of course, because of the COVID thing, but the season before, I was in India for the last preseason game. It was like 2:30 in the morning that it started. That I was finding a stream to make it all. It was just, I'm sitting in a hotel in Mumbai trying to tune in the Lions. I'm like, what have I sunk to? Really? Let's make this work.
Hey, you got to get your Lions fix in, man. That's the way it goes.
Darn right. All right, let's get really quick into. I got to hit this quick before we get the interview. The interview's coming here very, very quick. As a matter of fact, it's coming up right after I do this. Get your head straight whenever you need to take care of your body, your brain, or your sleep habits. Go to cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com, cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. Use coupon code LIONS. Get yourself 55% off your purchase. The Delta 8 will trip your drug test, so just know that, but it'll make you sit very comfortably in your seat for a couple of hours. Only eat one gummy the first time. Please get to know what it does to you the first time. I've had a couple guys lose a couple hours. Otherwise, just a regular CBD. It's awesome. As Riz knows, I've been nailing the weights like crazy lately, and
I'm proud of you, Chris. Keep it up, buddy. I need to do it myself. I've been living in a hotel for 9 days. I'm in need of some physical training and activity.
Get out of the business office and down to the fitness center. This is the.
It's literally right there too. That's the worst part.
The cream. I've been using this stuff like the zonkers. I put it on after a workout. It helps take away the pain, and it's kept me going. I shouldn't have, because you need your rest days, but I've been on the weights 5 days straight, just banging it. And I hate squats, and I am miserable. I am only going to stand again if this house catches fire. But otherwise, like my upper body, this stuff is working great stuff on cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com. Get your fix. cbd.detroitlionspodcast. If you get the chill line or the Delta 8, you won't pass drug tests, but you will have a heck of a night. All right. With that, we've been teasing this. We've been talking about this for a while. We've got the one and only Lions undrafted free agent quarterback, Jerry Jacobs. Admit it here. There we go. Jerry Jacobs. Jerry, How are you doing, man?
How you doing?
Yeah, great.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Jerry.
Thank you for having me, my guy.
Really, really glad to have you, dude. This is great. I tell you, the thing that really, really got me and kind of really stoked about talking to you is your story. You're a guy that is so easy to get behind and love and just root for, man. This is something, you know, it's not like you've had an easy life, but every time, every step of the way, it seems like you fall up and you just keep at it and keep going, and you can really get a feel of that in your Twitter. I would love just to kind of give you to talk about your story a little bit, where you started, talk about some of the people in your life, some of your battles, and get a sense of kind of who you are, right? You fought your way up. Start about what life was like for Jerry Jacobs growing up. What was it like before you got into high school, man?
So I'm Jerry Jacobs. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Actually born and raised, my whole life. Growing up, man, it was tough. I had the most roughest story like everybody else, but you gotta live with it. So growing up, I lost my mom due to pneumonia when I was 11 years old. And so like that due to my dad was not in my life. I got four siblings. I'm the youngest. My two older sisters raised the last three. So my sister took me and my brother, my other sister in. She just graduated from UGA, so it was a little rough for her, but she did a great job. So growing up, it was a little tough. It was a little tough for us, but she found a way, and like I got my hard workness from her, and just seeing her, go get it every day. That just showing me. So in high school, got in a little trouble, man. I was just around the wrong people at the wrong time, just doing stuff like that, and just getting kicked out of high school around like 11th grade year. I was just starting my 10th grade year. I had actually did good, started getting college interest, like actually finna start getting offers, but ended up doing an incident and got kicked out of high school. Boom, 12th grade year. I'm coming back from my 12th grade my senior season for football, and I get in trouble again. The first 3 games, get suspended the first 3 games of my senior season. By that time, I didn't know if I was going to be able to go to college after high school, so I was just out there doing bad stuff in the streets and stuff like that. So one day after spring break, my 12th grade year, I got a call from Hutchinson Community College. I never heard of a JUCO, never thought I'd be able to go JUCO. Honestly, I was trying to go D2 coming out of high school, but luckily God gave me that answer. So they called me, like they gave me an offer. They were just saying, I'm a good ball player. A lot of D2 schools want me to go there. So 3 days before signing day, I was trying to go to West Georgia. But my friend, brother, who really know football at the time, like I said, I was just young-minded, and I didn't think football how I think about football how it is now. So I was just thinking about going somewhere to play football, but it's more than that. So he was just telling me yeah, man, Hutchinson, they want you. It's a junior college. You go there and get your grades right, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, you're right. And he was just saying, I should look into it. So it was 3 days before signing day. The last day before signing day, I actually just sat down and just got on the computer and really researched it. And I seen it was 2 year Alvin Kamara, Cordell Patterson. A lot of guys went there, changed their life. So I was like, man, I got an opportunity, to go change my life. So, I put my big boy pants on. It was 14 hours away. He told my sister, hey, I'm going to go make a way, because graduated high school, I graduated with a 2.3. And I'm like, man, I can change that. So I committed it. I called them back and I committed to them. I was like, yeah, I'm coming down there, coming from Georgia and want to go change my life around. So I get down there. Boom. I redshirted when I first got there because it was an out-of-state rule, on 20 out-of-state players on the roster. So, I had to wait my turn. So my redshirt freshman season turned up, did my thing, man. I was just attacking the classroom and just learning from my redshirt season how things work and how things play out in junior college. And I actually did a great job because when I came my redshirt freshman season, I was able to graduate early, because I started getting offers from Arkansas State, Sunbelt offers and stuff like that. And my GPA was just awesome. No schools want to put them back. I had a 3.5, so I ended up graduated there for 3.5. And I could have stayed another year, but I was like, man, I want to go to college with 3 years of eligibility left. So I talked to my head coach at the time, Ryan Rhodes at Hutch. He coached me last year at Arkansas, but that's crazy. I talked to him just I want to go to college, play 3 years. He was like, I'm with it. And I committed to Arkansas State. The reason I committed to Arkansas State because they offered me when I first got in junior college. They didn't see me play no film. They just offered me straight out of high school. And they offered 10 other kids, but after our freshman season, they was taking the offer back, and I was the main one who kept my offer, and they kept showing interest. So I was like, man, I can actually go there and start immediately. So I committed there and went there. I went to Arkansas State from 2018 to 2019. 2018 season, I actually did my thing, got my name out there for NFL teams, interesting stuff like that. And coming back my junior season to play for Arkansas State, 3rd game of the season, I tore my ACL, went up for a pass breakup, tore my ACL versus Georgia. So that lead me to, I was going to declare that year, but, that lead me to have to come back to play another season. But I ended up, I was a junior when I tore my ACL, so I ended up graduating. I graduated as a junior, graduated from Arkansas State, got my degree, and some just told me you can go bigger, because Arkansas State Sunbelt. So it was just all the my mindset, knowing I could play a little heavier and me play at a higher level. So I talked to my coach there, and I was like, I might just grad transfer somewhere, transfer portal. So which I did. I went to Arkansas. Got a lot of interest from other schools, but I ended up choosing Arkansas because it was down the street. Went to Arkansas, and then I got there, and I competed on the starting job, and around game 4, game 5, I ended up opting out with some tough decisions that I actually really, learned from in life.
Really quick before that, let me before and we'll talk about the opt out, but I want to talk about because you played strong. You were part of a 1-2 punch there at Arkansas. You were where it was at, right? For a big school, you were the guy, and you were on stage for a drafted spot in the NFL playing there. You had worked. Now let's talk about this. You worked from high school through JUCO to Arkansas State to Arkansas as a starting cornerback. That's a heck of a ride, man. That is a heck of a ride.
And like each wave taught me so much in life, and just taught me how to be a better person and just be a bigger person and grow up. So like I shout out to all them schools that gave me the opportunity, and like I respect every last one of them, and I appreciate it. So like they really helped me out in life.
For real,
that's cool.
Yeah. Riz, you got one?
Yeah. So first off, what'd you get your degree in? Because graduating as fast as you did, that's impressive, man. So what was your degree in?
So going out of high school, I told you I was a little bad at my grades, so I graduated 2-3. When I got to junior college, my academic counselor, she just told me I was so good in general studies that like she told me I should stay with it all the way through. So I had general studies, and I had graduated with social arts in JUCO, and then when I got to Arkansas State, my academic advisor was like general studies. You can graduate early with it, so I stayed with it and I graduated with that. But
good deal.
When I got to Arkansas, I worked on my master's, and I was getting adult life learnings, but I had to put it on pause because this NFL focus.
That's understandable. That's a good reason to pause the studies, man. That's good. Do you play any other sports when you were young coming up?
Man, I played it all. Man, in high school, you could go just look me up. I played lacrosse, track, basketball. Honestly, I stopped playing basketball. That's the only sport I stopped playing after 10th grade year because, my coach was saying I was getting a little too aggressive on the court. When I played defense, I fouled a little too much defense that I needed to put basketball away and go somewhere else. So I played it all, though. I ran track and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the opt-out really quick. Because there's a couple questions here. One, you made a decision, and I've seen some reports that you regretted the decision afterward, and I want to talk about that a little. But I want to ask you what you think about other players as well, and what you think they think about that decision now after the case. So let's talk about you first. You got through. You did your 3 games. You were out for a game, and you why did you miss the game? They put Hutchinson in, right? Or not Hutchinson. Was it Hutchinson as a corner in your place? I'm trying to remember. Hudson, that's it. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking the JUCO. So they put him in there. Was there an injury at that point, or was there something that kept you out? I heard you say something like you were just not right.
My ankle. We played Auburn the week before, and I had hurt my ankle, so he was just keeping me out for a little bit. If he needed me, he was gonna throw me out there.
Yep. And so he came in. You had an injury, and then it was a little bit after that you opted out. And so take us through that process and your thinking and kind of the retrospect, looking back on it, what you think of the decision.
Going through that opting out little thing, all I can say was I just let my mind take over. I wasn't really focused. I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't even talk to my family about making the decision. I just made it on my own.
Sure.
So just growing up, you're just showing you grown man life lesson, just showing you that you can talk to someone before you just make a decision quick like that. Yeah. So that's why I say I regret it because, I ain't even, when my head coach, I went in there and, talked to him about it. Like, he gave me some reason of not opting out, but, I wasn't trying to hear it. And like, I felt like I lost a little, little shoe right there, but, you live and you learn. So I feel like it was a lifelong lesson for me.
I'll tell you what, man, as an older guy, right? Maybe old enough to be your dad, but as an older guy, we've all been there. And where you have, it's like it's a big decision that makes a really, really big impact. Some of us, when we make that decision that we regret, it's like lower impact. But you know what? Everybody does it. I wouldn't take that as a negative because you did what you thought was the right thing.
The situation you're into, you're at your third school in 4 years. It's tough to build the trust and the bonds with people to go to them with things like that. So I get where you're coming from on that.
Yes, sir. But you know, it's still love. They let me come back and do pro day and stuff like that, so there was still love there.
That was really nice of them. I saw that.
That's always a good sign of respect that, you know, even though you opted out and it might not have been the way you wanted it to end, they were still okay with you, you know, using the facilities and training and getting your pro day. And so that speaks well for you and for Arkansas too.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So do you know if there were any Lions coaches at the Arkansas pro day? Did you have any kind of inkling that they were kind of watching things and checking things out?
I seen one one scout, but I didn't actually see no line coach actually. I think because they were rebuilding the staff at the moment, so but I ain't see not one. I ain't see one.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens with that. So let's talk about the opt out for a second. You got some teammates, some rookie teammates that opted out last year. There's a couple like Geronimo Allison's coming back. You're going to be going against him in practice in a couple weeks. Do you think that there's other people that maybe regretted or have second thoughts about opting out for why they did? Have you talked to anybody about that?
Yeah, some people have regretted, you know, but some people actually have like owned up to it. Like, yeah, I really wanted to make that decision because, like, you know, family concerns and kids concerns, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with it if it's your choice. But you know, I'm sure there's people that are like, I don't know, man. You know?
Yeah. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of I don't know, man. We got a lot of.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's talk about with the Lions now. So we're past that. You got an opportunity as an undrafted free agent. And we had a couple questions submitted by Reddit users. So we'll drop a couple of those. This is from a guy. And they have some funny names sometimes, so we'll just go with it. This guy's name is behind my screen. His question: how does it feel to get your shot as an undrafted free agent with the Lions? What does the opportunity mean to you? And did other teams make an offer as well?
Yeah. After the draft was over, my agent phone was jumping. I got like 4 offers, and it was like out of a couple teams. But I felt like this one was the best opportunity because, you know, they rebuilding over here. And, you know, they gave me the best, however you said, the best little shot, best little thing. But,
little spiel,
yeah. So, but honestly, I'm blessed. You know, I cherish this every day because, you know, just doing the stuff that I did, I knew I was going to get an opportunity, but at the same time, you just never know. So, when I got that call from the GM at the Lions, and it was just unbelievable. I was just like ready to get to work. So when I go up there and I see the facility every day, I just cherish and go hard every day because, you know, you never know when your time's over.
Once you got that locked in, what was your reaction? What was the first thing you did once you locked that in with the Lions?
I just jumped up, man. You know, started just I didn't even cry because, you know, I was just blessed and I was just happy because, like, you know, it was a dream come true. You know, just hearing your name, not even hearing your name, just hearing a GM on the phone, just saying your name, like, hey, Jerry, we want you here to be a part of, like, this and that type of team. And, like, just, you know, trying to think about that when you was young at 6 years old, first started playing football, to just hearing your, you know, just seeing your name on the back of an NFL team jersey or in a locker room is just unbelievable. So it's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's cool that Brad Holmes called you, that it wasn't like your agent telling you. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. No, that was right after, and it was crazy because, like, they called me right after it was over, and I was like, oh, man, like, they really wanted it. So,
yeah,
that's a good deal. So I'll ask you a quick follow-up on that. You are with the Lions now. You are wearing number 39, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is that any special significance to that, or just that's what they gave you?
Oh, yeah, that's what I walk in the locker room with. You know, hey, man, I can wear 99, whatever they give me. Making my name, so I ain't tripping about the number. You know, NFL.
Good deal.
The number don't make it. So
yeah, a lot of love for you in the chat, Jerry. Just want to tell you, everyone's saying welcome, Jerry. Love to have you in Detroit. Great hearing from you. A lot of love from the folks in the chat watching right now.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a lot of guys. Their path to the NFL as an undrafted free agent is through special teams, right? That's the kind of the way that a lot of guys get in. The Lions also have a really, really big need at safety. And of course, there's the cornerback option, right? It feels like there's a couple ways for you to make the team. Are you locked in at cornerback, or are you open to some other options? What with minicamp and everything else? Where's your head at with all that right now?
I got two. I'm in 2 positions on the field, nickel and corner, but I'm more locked in at corner at the moment.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a 17 killer, so I'm going hard on that too. So I might be just a little earn my spot on there too. So
you have a ripped ass body. I'll tell you that on the pictures we saw on Twitter.
Your work in the weight room is duly noted, my friend.
Yeah. I try to stay out of there, but it's something you got to get back into.
Looking really good out there. Looking really good.
So do you have a lot of experience playing on special teams? I know sometimes when you're a starter, you don't always get those reps.
Oh yeah. Actually, when I got to Arkansas State, I ain't coming from JUCO, you just thought you could play on defense, and I actually got introduced to special teams. So yeah, I played a lot of reps on special teams, and the special team coach actually seen that at Detroit Lions. So yeah, I can play gunner. I can get down there now. I can. That's a speed deal.
Yeah, I've seen those hips too. Those don't lie. I'm telling you, man. You can flip those things like nothing. You look really good. I mean, your stuff on Twitter is hot, man. You look really like you've got all the traits. You've got all the athletic skills.
Just got to go into work, man. Ready to get back to work. I'm actually gonna leave here Friday and get back up there for training camp. So. Cool. Just ready to get it started, man. You're going to hear a lot of big things.
So will you come over and say hi? We're going to be there on the 31st on training camp, and the days after that. Would love to shout out and shake your hand and say, hey, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right.
If I don't, put a face with you, just grab me.
For real?
I love to talk to you.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you'll see me there a lot, but you'll see him just limited time.
I'll tell you what. We are doing a party on the 31st. For those that want to come party at DetroitLionsPodcast.com, head on over. And that night, we're going to have a bunch of people over. We got Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions.
Voice of the Lions. You're going to love Dan if you haven't met him already. He's a great guy.
Spectacular. Okay. And Justin Rogers from Detroit News.
Happy to be there.
If you want to join us, man, we would love to have you come out. We can make it happen, and we'll get you dinner and soft drinks, water, if you want to drink or two. We can help you out, right? Whatever works. You're training, I know.
We can take care of things for that. Yeah, absolutely.
To the water.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I can't promise I'll be drinking water, but we can take care of you. I promise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, man. Okay, we'll get that set up.
That's cool. Yeah, we'll get you more information on that. Since you're heading up to Detroit, are you? What's your living situation up there? You got anybody that you're going to be with? You with one of your teammates or family or anything like that?
No, I'm actually found a little condo down there. I moved in August 1st, so I'm be in the hotel for probably like 4 or 5 days when I get down there, and then I move into my actually crib in Royal Oaks downtown. So I actually
good deal.
I know we could probably find some people to help you move if you need it. Just let us know.
I ain't moving nothing, so I'm gonna put something in, get some furniture or something. So.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you one more question. We got a couple questions actually still to ask, but this one I think is really about you. I want to kind of fast forward 15 years. All right, let's pretend it's 2036. Write the Jerry Jacobs story in the NFL for me. Tell me, how did your career play out? And how do you want to be remembered in the NFL? How did you make your mark?
10 or 11 years in the NFL, Jerry Jacobs, just wherever team he went to, he gave his all. He was just a hard worker. He put in the work to become great. Even if I don't get the gold jacket, but I'm aiming for that. But just want to leave my name out in the NFL by one of them guys who just always went, who at any team, he's a standout guy. Like, he's just going to make plays. He's going to do what he was going to do, what he was told to do. He's going to go out there and work hard. So, just one of the guys who's just going to leave it all. Like, Charles Wilson, he just always left it on the line. Deion Sanders, he just always left it on the line. So, after every time I put my cleats on them, every time I put my cleats between them white lines, Jerry Jacobs is going to leave it all on the line. So, you remember me as one of them type of guys leaving the NFL.
That's awesome.
Cool. So, your head coach had that mentality. Dan Campbell. Talk to me about what your impressions are of Dan Campbell as a head coach, because we're all learning this on the fly as well. We don't really know him all that well yet. Other than are they serving kneecaps in the for lunch in the cafeteria? What's your thought about Dan Campbell being your head coach and just like how he treats practice, how he's running things, what he's like, like maybe when we're not watching him giving press conferences and stuff like that.
Man, he's a great guy. Honestly, I talked to him after one practice and just hearing his voice and just understanding him playing in the NFL. We actually, a lot of guys, because we got a young team, can relate from him. So every time he talk, we listen and we just we learn a lot of things from him. He different every day. Some days he come in there, he'll be a little, you'll think he mad, but he'll come out with some great energy and we just learn different ways about him. But as a coach, he's a wonderful coach. He knows what he's talking about. he got it. He grabbed one of the best styles in the NFL. If you actually see, we got a lot of NFL coaches who played in the NFL, so like he actually got a good style, and he's a humble guy. He come in and work hard every day, and just hearing his voice, he got the great energy.
Do you remember Aaron Glenn as a player at all?
Actually, I don't. But actually, watching this film, I think I seen one play back in the day.
Yeah, because when I watched your film at Arkansas State, I admit I only watched one game you at Arkansas, but at Arkansas State, I'm like, I can see why Aaron Glenn would be attracted to you.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. Every time he see me, he be like, Jerry, get your little crazy stuff on, man. That's my guy. Great energy, man. He's great defensive back coach too as well.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask. A lot of former players as coaches, as a player coming in, as a rookie stepping in, how does that affect the players as a whole? And then you weren't there last year, but I'm sure you've talked to guys and they've talked about, it's a pretty open secret that things weren't as pleasant last year in the locker room as they are this year. What can you share about that having those kind of coaches and then how things look like they've changed year over year?
A lot of guys, just hearing from what they was telling me about last year, just saying that the coaches this year is more active, like they more like just talking football. More coaches, like not saying that the coaches last year weren't actually coaching, but they saying they actually been detailed with the coaching and putting in the right stuff that make players make plays and stuff like that. So just hearing from the guys who was here last year, just saying about this new staff, that what they like is that everything they put in and everything they do is for a reason. So like they just not having you just doing it for no reason. So a lot of a lot of vets, they really like this coaching staff better than the previous one they had, because like they actually learning stuff. So
sure,
everybody love the coaching staff. I can tell you that.
That's great.
You see, we ain't had no vet better than minute cap. Everybody wanted to be there.
yeah. That was obvious. I was there watching for the one day that the media was allowed there. It was the energy was so different. It was very cool to see. So I'm glad that you guys are picking up on that in the locker room too.
Yes, sir. Great energy.
Yep. I want to finish out Chef Curry Sauce. That's his name. I don't know how he gets his name from. But I want to finish that one out. What were your impressions? I mean, so he's played football before, Dan Campbell. He's been there. He's got a lot of energy. But when you think about the technical aspect of football, the X's and O's part of it, how do you feel he fits in? I mean, as a coach, is he look, I'm not asking you to talk bad about either coach or any of your coaches historically or now, but how does he fit in compared to some of your other coaches in understanding kind of the real technical details of the game?
With the X's and O's, like I said, he played football in the NFL. So when it comes to that, he get down and show it. Sometimes he actually shows how to do it, and like just having coaches like that on our team is just really a better path of just learning football and just getting the details in it. And like having coaches who play in the league, like more than Dan Campbell, we got other coaches like Deuce Stanley who get out there and show you he can do it. Like so, just just seeing it, just more than just seeing the X and O's, we actually got coaches out there doing it for us. So like doing stuff like that is just better. Like a lot of players.
That's awesome. Who's the toughest person you've had to cover so far? Let me see Tyrell Williams, but Tyrell Williams, I haven't been going against him like that. But I would say, St. Brown go at it a lot because we both rookies. So I always like to call him out because they drafted him. But that's my guy. We always go at it. But Tyrell Williams, he a little tall and he quick with it. So, but we all get that work though. We all get that work. That's awesome.
We all get that work.
That is awesome.
Very good,
Riz.
Very good.
I think I've got a good feel for Jerry.
I think I'm thrilled that you joined us, Jerry. We are definitely big fans. We appreciate you coming on with us. We are going to be looking forward to seeing you out there, rocking number 39 on the outside and taking care of business. You've got a very real chance to not just make this team, but make an impact on this team. Yeah. I think you know that, and that's why you're in Detroit, and we're gonna be happy to help pave the way. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much, man. And like I wanted to tell you, I appreciate you guys. A lot of guys want to get this opportunity. And like I love the fans in Detroit. And, I love everybody. Thank you for having me on here. This ain't the only time you're gonna see me, man. I'm gonna be back on here a lot. So y'all gonna see season 2. So just tune in.
I love it.
Chris and Jeff, thank you so much, man, for
Jerry,
the opportunity.
Very good.
Your story is great, man. And I love your attitude. I love everything you bring. And I mean, the folks in the chat are feeling it. Jerry seems like he's going to be a fan and media favorite. Hope he makes the team. Thanks to the inside view, Jerry. Everything you do.
There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of it.
So
it's just
that's
rolling.
good.
Really
good positive
you,
energy, man. That's great.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
I wish you the very best, brother. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. Jerry Jacobs, Detroit Lions, cornerback, undrafted free agent. What a great guy, man.
Chris, I like that guy.
I do. I really do, too. I told you you're going to like him. And
I'm ready. So
he's coming to the party. He's coming to the party, Riz.
That's great. I'm not just blowing smoke. He has a real chance to make this team.
Yeah.
And not just make it, but like not have to worry about like because with the cut downs this year, the way it's going to be, you get your final 53, and then they have cuts. They claim 2 or 3 more guys, then you get cut.
Yep.
He's got a shot to be above that line too.
Yeah.
So he really does. His athleticism. If you go back and watch him at Arkansas State specifically, again, as I told him, I only saw one game at Arkansas.
Right.
At Arkansas State, that guy can play in the NFL. Physical, quick, smart, reactive, goes at it. You can tell just by listening to him that he is going to give you everything he's got, and that shows on the game film too.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's got to offer in camp because I hope that he would be open to moving to safety because I still think that might be a path for him. But
you see that body of his.
If he wants to make it a corner, I'm not going to tell him that he can't because he absolutely can.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the thing. Look, I want him to be his very, very best on the team, right, and be the best he can. But there is an absolute need at safety, and again, I don't want to get too much of a man crush on this guy's body. But
but he's looking good. You know how I am with Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And part of that is his body. Jerry's got a very, very rocked up physique. For a cornerback, he doesn't look like a cornerback. He looks more like a linebacker that's a little bit leaned out.
Yep.
And I think that will play very well with this team. He will not make it because of lack of athleticism. I can tell you that.
No. Hey, go to @_ LUHJERRY, Ludgerry, @_ and go look at his film. Look at his clips. He's showing himself working out. He's showing himself working out outside of the team's workouts in between in the summer here, and he is just ripped. And when you watch him do some of those the workouts he was doing, those hips flip dude. I'm telling you, and I don't want to go too crazy here.
Like butter.
I immediately, and again, I'm not going to go crazy here. This is just one aspect. But those hips flipped like Slays did when I was watching him in camp. They just snap 180 degrees.
They really do.
I was like, crap, there's something to this guy. Wow.
There's a definite path for him, for this team, and we're going to root for him. We're going to support him. We will continue to keep you updated on him. I will make it a point when I'm out there at training camp. I am planning on being at training camp every day but 2. And I will try to I'm going to try to do the video updates afterwards, although they have told me I can't do them on premises anymore.
They caught us.
The Lions were very polite about it, but they're like, the
fans of the show.
The official media partners pay for exclusivity from broadcasting from the place. I'm like, even the parking lot. And they're like, don't push it. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I can do it from my home away from home that isn't a hotel.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. So I'll keep giving Jerry Jacobs updates on how he's done. And you guys know me. I'm going to be honest about it, and I'll be honest with Jerry. If I think he had a bad day, I'm going to tell him he had a bad day. I can't do it any other way. But I really like it, and I like his chances a lot. I really do. So
all that, and he's coming to the party, the podcast party. We got Dan Miller. Great. We got Justin Rogers. And we've got Jerry Jacobs, Lions cornerback. I mean, come on. What are you talking about? We're going to have so much fun at this. Aside from the fact, I miss people, Chris. I can't wait to get with people again. The training camp party is so much fun. If Jerry's there, more the merrier, man. Yeah. It's awesome. Yep. Head on over to party.detroitlionspodcast.com. Get your tickets. There's limited number. I think with Jerry there, it's going to be changed. He'll do autographs, I'm sure, but I guarantee he's going to be the most amazing, fun guy to hang around with. He's going to be training. You can feel those biceps, I'm sure. You can get a picture with him, get some signed stuff.
Don't fondle the biceps, though, guys.
Ask first. You may go for it. No, great guy. Going to come out there, join the party. You can, too. again, party.detroitlionspodcast.com. Come out and have a good time and join us. And
it's going to be a really good time. I'm working on a couple of other people, Lions media cognoscenti, that I will try to get in as well. It's being a Saturday night in the middle of the summer, it can be tough. I will actually be missing a basketball function for my daughter that day, but because I love y'all, man.
Oh, look at that. And then also, if you didn't catch it, Jerry is going to be joining us regularly throughout the season. We're going to follow his journey. Yeah. Lions, practice squad, another team, wherever it goes. This is the story. Yeah. This is the kind of story that never gets told in the NFL unless he becomes a superstar. Right, that's then it's like, oh yeah, he had a hard upbringing, he had a hard time to get in, he barely made the NFL, all this other stuff. He's a bubble guy, and then they tell the story. But this is a guy who is on this line, and we're going to walk this story all year. We're going to ride it with him, and we're going to see, and I'm going to root for him, but we're going to see how he does and where he goes, and talk about the twists, the turns, and how he's reacting to all the things that happen as the life of an NFL player.
I just like the fact that he's candid. Like he had a bit of a knucklehead in him when he was young, and he outgrew it, but he learned from it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that he's forthright about that. He doesn't try to run from it, doesn't bury it. He learned from it, and you can see that it's made him the person that he is, and he's proud of that, and he should be proud of it.
Yeah,
110%. I love guys and stories like that.
Yeah.
That's just great.
There's there's different people. There's guys who've just been able to coast on greatness and luck and that sort of thing. There's guys that work hard. I love a guy that's worked hard. That's my kind of story of life. A little different than his, but I worked my way through college to get my college degree. I didn't, I had to do a whole lot of different stuff than the traditional path, and it took a little bit more grinding to get there, but I got there. I love a guy who works. I love a guy who grinds, and I love a guy who's not afraid to face what's in front of him to get it done. So much love for Jerry. I hope he gets rocking and rolling here. Let's really quick get back into it. I think
let me unmute. Sorry,
yeah.
I had to sneeze. I had to mute myself there. Forgot the unmute button. My bad.
All right.
At least the dogs are gone.
Party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Don't forget about that. Get your tickets now. They are limited, and you can join us all. It's going to be awesome. All right. We'll get that going on. And then, oh, God, when Jerry makes the Pro Bowl in 2 years, this episode will be used part of his promo video. I'll tell you what, Dan Orlowski did his first podcast here as my co-host when Case couldn't make it.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. We are Kingmakers.
I'm still grateful for you that I wasn't available either.
We are the Kingmakers. Just remember that. All right.
There you go.
Let's talk a little bit Michael Brockers. And we touched about it a little bit with Jerry. There are a lot of guys coming in for Patricia era, and they're like, man, this coaching staff understands. They talk to you, communicate to you. A lot of guys are buying in. I've seen that turn around from 4-12 to playoffs the next year. It's going to be exciting. Who was his quarterback when he went from 4-12 to playoffs? Riz, just really quick. I don't want to hit that too hard, but I'm just point of note.
I mean, Matthew Stafford sort of did that, didn't he? Once upon a time. Jared Goff has probably done it once upon a time. What? I forget. I think maybe this is selective memory, but I don't remember the Rams being like very good at all for several years in between when they were. So let me look up what the Rams were.
They were.
I know. I remember them earning the number 1 overall pick because Jeff Fisher sucked.
Yep. 7-6. Remember? None of that
7-9. Some of that 7-9 bullshit. Yep. I do remember that. So So looking back at, they were 7-9, 6-10, 7-9, and then they got Goff. Yeah.
Living in LA when they came out, right? It was interesting to kind of watch that all happen. And there was talk a couple years before that maybe the Lions would come out to LA, and I was like, oh, I would love that. Sorry, Detroit, I love you, but I need a football team. And then they brought them out, and I was glad the Lions stayed because I moved away. But let's talk about this, the Patricia era now. Everything we're hearing, I mean, everybody, without crapping on him, everybody is crapping on the Patricia era, right?
It's this close to people like really coming out and laying it on, but they're being fairly diplomatic about it right now. Obviously, you can read between the lines. Michael Brockers is a really, really bright dude.
Yeah,
he's been around for a long time for a reason. He understands how to play the game on and off the field, and he played it really, really well in talking about Matt Patricia and the culture change that's going on in Detroit, which is interesting because what was the big thing when Quinn and especially Matt Patricia took over was about changing the culture and getting the culture right. And they went and let's just say we're happy to have a new culture coming. And you heard it in Jerry's voice, man. And you've heard it from other players too. There's something different about what's going on now. And do we know if it's going to work? No. But God, at least it's going to be fun to try, and at least like the players respect it.
Yeah.
And that's going to do so much for this team. Again, I'm on record. I don't think this team's good. This is a last place team. I have very little doubt in my mind about that. Though this Green Bay mess with Aaron Rodgers keeps going, who knows what's going on with them? But
he declined the 2-year extension, right?
He did
to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, right?
Highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah, sorry.
Think about that.
That's
Think
an
about
angry
how much
man.
Patrick Mahomes makes.
That's an angry
man.
man.
Mahomes is making what? $55 million a year, and Rodgers didn't want that in Green Bay. Something's going on there. Who knows what's going to happen? But their defense is solid, anyways. But yeah,
that is an angry man.
I'm just excited to see this organization finally, quote unquote, bottom out. And I know
You've had enough of that shit.
Yes, we've done this once before, and we've climbed somewhat, and I will forever give Jim Schwartz credit for being the right man at the right time for a winless team.
Yeah.
And then he needed to go.
For sure. Yeah, 100% with you. And I think Caldwell next was the right guy to move him up, but wasn't the guy to put him over the top.
He couldn't make the proverbial next step.
I just think that it just was the ultimate failure to go to that Patricia regime, right? They were almost there. And let's be honest, let's not reinvent history here. Quinn and Patricia were the consensus top pick. The league themselves were angry. The New York Giants are supposedly the people that put that stuff of that story that came out about Patricia that didn't advance anything and was pretty bad about the assault and everything else. That one, it's because of sour grapes that they didn't get Patricia that one came out is the big rumor. There was all kinds of people that thought that this was the greatest move in the world, right? Football minds, smart football people.
When I went on the radio and dared to question the wisdom of hiring Matt Patricia without any experience, dude, the switchboard. You can ask Jim Costa this. You can call in and he will talk because we were in the studio that day, and he was taken aback by how much people were like, "Oh hell yeah, this is the perfect hire. We are going places." And I was like, "Hey, I don't know, man. I'm not really in on this guy."
I was right there. I thought that this was the next step. Everything we had seen, all the research we had, all the biggest, brightest minds, and then we wind up. The more you know. No more Patricia.
It just did. Look, and we've talked about why it's failed too much, but so we won't go into that. But the energy and the vibe. Look, I know bad football teams. I've covered the Browns, the Texans, and the Lions. I also know when I see something that I think can work, and I see the energy, I see the plan. But as Jerry talked about, I don't think Dan Campbell gets enough credit nationally, and I do think that to the local media's credit, we do give him credit for this. He's a really smart football dude, and I wish people would see that and respect that more.
I think
that he's not just this meathead that's out here giving fun one-liners.
That's what everyone sees, and I mean, if you think about how the news works, right? And I'm not talking about sports news. I'm talking about the news in general. People just take that one line. That's all they want, and then they seize on it, and they can make a story, right? They can just make a story. And all of a sudden,
he's Mike Singletary, who's probably the worst. I wouldn't say he's the worst. He's in the bottom 3 coaches I've ever seen coach, both in person and I mean, I will share the anecdote. Some of you heard this before, but when he was coaching the 49ers, one of the 49ers players related to me that his coaching was like Rainier Wolfcastle in the Simpsons episode where Homer is trying to climb Mount Simpson, and he's like hawking the power sauce bars, where he's just like shouting random positive slogans at him that don't mean anything and not really doing anything except eating power sauce bars on the side. That's how Mike Singletary's coaching was related to me by a player who liked him, by the way. That's not Dan Campbell. That's not what you're getting here. He twirls the whistle all the time, but he's out there and he is engaged. He's not doing calisthenics at midfield at halftime or during reps of a Shrine game practice, which Mike Singletary did in fact do. I have pictures of it. There's a lot going on with Dan Campbell that, he's a spicy tortilla burrito, man. There's a lot going on in that burrito. Yeah. There's more than just the kneecaps.
For sure. And that wasn't a Matt Patricia move. The jumping jacks to Senior Bowl. That was not a Matt Patricia move. No. So we got a lot of coverage coming. We got a lot of stuff. As Riz said on the on training camp, we've got the party.detroitlionspodcast.com. Also, we've got fantasy football going on, and it is rocking and rolling. Big money available. Head on over to fantasy.detroitlionspodcast.com. Sign up right now. If you've had trouble with the site in the past and the checkout system, it's not PayPal only anymore. You can use your credit cards. It's smooth. It's slick. I did a whole bunch of back-end coding and got that thing all squared away. It is slick, beautiful, and you can get in there, play against Risk, play against Chris, play against a whole bunch of us, and see what you can do with your football.
Don't draft Cam Akers. Fantasy advice. That's for free, too. You don't have to pay for that.
He wants him. Don't let him.
No, he's out.
I know.
The curse of so this came up because I ventured into the subreddit today, and there was talk of the curse of Matthew Stafford because his top running back in Los Angeles is now out for the season after getting hurt. I don't believe that. I don't believe in curses like that. I really don't. But
just makes for a better draft pick.
It sucks, and I will also say this: don't discount Darrell Henderson. That guy can ball.
Yeah. Yep. But he doesn't get the rest.
And also, running backs are really easy to find. The difference between what Cam Akers gives you and what they can sign off the street or find as an undrafted free agent is a lot less than you might think.
That's not true in Detroit. We'll see. Adrian Peterson's out there. Maybe we can.
Let's give DeAndre Swift a chance to prove that he can actually be the guy. And that Jamal Williams can help with that, and that Jamar Jefferson can make the team. That's my hope for the running back.
I think Williams and Swift are going to be just great this year. As far as look, I don't know that they're going to break 2,000 yards each. I'm not making not that kind of great, but I think they're going to be a great tandem for this team.
I think you're going to see something similar to what we had when we had Joique Bell and Reggie Bush in that one magical year between the two of them.
Yeah,
these two can do that.
Yeah, absolutely, they can. And a lot of fun there. So get your action. Fantasy.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Fantasy.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Get yourself in there, get a team, and help support the show. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's a great way to have some fun, win some money. Top 3 are money spots. The 4th place gets you a T-shirt out of the store. So, I mean, a third of the people that play win a prize. It's a pretty good deal. And like I said, it's our number 1 fundraiser of the year. So the more people that play, the better off we'll be. So if you enjoy football, fantasy football, have some fun and support the show along the way. Don't forget CBD.Detroit Lions Podcast and the party. We just found out Jerry Jacobs is coming to the podcast party with Dan Miller, Justin Rogers, Jeff Risden, me. I'm going to be there. All of us. We're going to do a live podcast from there. It is going to be a magical year, as Blue and Silver has said in the chat. All right. I think we're going to do it with that, Riz. I think we're going to call it.
That sounds good.
All right.
I will join the dogs of war outside.
Don't forget
maybe at the fitness center on the way up to the room too.
Don't forget us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast, patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Get access to the Slack, the very, very best Lions chat, most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. I am not even messing around. An auction for a totally platonic date with Case. We'll talk about that. That may be a possibility. The Slack is absolutely fabulous place to hang out and meet some great people.
It really is. I love you guys. You've kept me sane. This has been a very trying summer for me, and I appreciate you guys giving me crap, but also giving me love. I love it. It's great. Thank you for that.
Follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast, DET Lions Podcast, and at Jeff Risden, as you see spelled on your screen, Jeff Risden. At Jeff Risden. Give us all a follow on the Twitter machine because it's the very best place to see us both.
With no pads in public.
Give us a call via Skype. All one word, Detroit Lions Podcast. Or call us in the Lions line at 929-33-LIONS. It's 929-335-4667. Be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com and subscribe to the podcast so we can do the thing that Riz loves most.
We can come into your ear holes automatically.
Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no problems, because we got Jerry Jacobs all year, and we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection.